Edmonton. Local breaking news with Miriam Valdez-Carletti.
Good evening. The man who sold a semi-automatic rifle later used to shoot and kill two Edmonton police officers has been found guilty of manslaughter. As CTV's Amanda Anderson reports, it's a conviction rarely seen in Canada.
The impact it has had on our organization cannot be understated.
Emotions ran high inside an Edmonton courtroom as family and colleagues of two police officers killed in the line of duty heard the verdict. Many cried as the justice found Dennis Okimau guilty of 17 charges, including manslaughter, criminal negligence causing death, and criminal negligence causing bodily harm. The court heard Okimau sold this semi-automatic German sports gun, 80 rounds of ammunition, and drugs to a 16-year-old with a history of mental illness.
The investigation was not an easy task, but the dedication of our members and partners never wavered, which is evident in their innovative and meticulous approach to arresting and laying charges.
The team used the gun to ambush police who responded to a domestic call at his family's apartment. He killed Constable Travis Jordan and Constable Brett Ryan. The teen also shot his mother, then killed himself. Before that day, the teen used the same gun to shoot an employee at this pizza shop.
When the charges got laid, I was curious as to how it was going to turn out.
Criminologist and former EPS inspector Dan Jones was surprised by the guilty verdict.
I wasn't expecting the manslaughter. I was maybe expecting the criminal negligence causing death, but I was not expecting a manslaughter conviction.
He says it's rare. The last time he can recall a similar conviction was around 2009 when two men were convicted of manslaughter for giving a rifle and ride to the man who killed 4 RCMP officers in Marithorpe.
I think the systems are starting to get tired and say we need to do something about this, and I think this is a message.
In Canada, manslaughter sentences can range from probation to life in prison, depending on the severity of the crime. When a firearm is involved, a conviction carries a mandatory minimum of 4 years behind bars. A date for Okimau's hearing to determine his sentence will be set next month. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Premier Danielle Smith is defending Albertans' rights to a referendum this fall. BC and Manitoba's premiers say they have concerns about Canada's future because of Alberta. Manitoba Premier Rob Canoe says now isn't the time for uncertainty, with multiple pipeline projects already in the works.
And I would say now is the time to work together. Why don't we hold off on this referendum talk for a year or two and see if we get these pipelines under construction? Because at the end of the day, we want Canada to succeed.
Smith didn't reply to his suggestion to delay the referendum. The annual Western Premiers meeting is usually focused on the economy, energy security, defense, and nation-building projects. Much of the conversation this year has surrounded separation talks. Smith says she wants her province to remain in Canada, but wants Albertans who are upset with Ottawa to have their say. BC Premier David Eby says the referendum is a huge mistake.
I remain incredibly anxious, frankly, about this. I've seen the Brexit referendum that was just supposed to be a chance for people to express the clarity that they wanted to stay part of the EU, and it did not end up that way. I've communicated those anxieties to Premier Smith. She understands them.
We're very conscious of the fact that 700,000 citizens signed one of 2 petitions wanting to have this question, and it's my job to ensure that they have hope in Canada again.
Eby says while the pair disagree, they can still have civil conversations and they have to find ways to work together. All premiers at the meeting say now is the time for unity and certainty. Eby says he was pleased everyone at the table agreed on the language of their goals. Several new campaigns have been launched pushing the pros and cons of Alberta separation. The people behind them say it's time to focus on facts over feelings. CTV's Nirman Issa reports.
But we want them really to realize the benefits of being in Alberta in Confederation.
What can we do to make Alberta stronger within Canada?
We are at an ideal opportunity for Alberta to become independent.
The debate on whether Alberta should stay or leave has proponents on both sides trying to appeal to those on the fence.
Alberta is succeeding in Canada. You know, we're the job creator of the entire country over the last 3 years. We have the highest incomes in Canada by far. Don't roll the dice and lose that.
Former Alberta MP Monty Solberg is one of the people behind the Vote to Stay campaign. It also includes former UCP Premier Jason Kenney. Solberg says they will roll out a full ad campaign over the next few months.
vision that's being painted for them of an independent Alberta, whether it's real or not. And we want to say, I can tell you what is real is Alberta's place leading Canada in Confederation.
Strategist Ken Bosenkool founded the Lead Not Leave campaign, focusing on policy.
A temporary think tank is another way I've described it. You know, a temporary think tank for the duration of the campaign to allow us to inject economic and other arguments into the debate.
On the pro-separatist side is the Alberta Transition Council, founded by constitutional lawyer Keith Wilson. He says they'll post a report online this summer, providing clarity on how an independent Alberta will work.
It's the idea is that they would be able to use this as a tool to answer the questions for them. So when someone says, well, what's going to happen to the Canada pension plan? You know, my pension there, how's that going to work? This document will address that.
Albertans will get their say on October 19th. Nair Misa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Volunteers are hoping the High Level Streetcar can continue making trips over the river valley, even once the High Level Bridge is replaced. The city says the bridge is in worse condition than expected, and renewing it would cost hundreds of millions of dollars more than the original estimate. CTV's Jeremy Thompson has more on the High Level Streetcar that's part tourist attraction, part public transit.
It's a distinct sound of summer near White Ave. For more than 40 years, the High Level Streetcar has taken Edmontonians and tourists alike on a ride through history and across it.
It's neat from outside, inside, and the conductor telling about the history. It's just great experience.
Some say you don't even need to board the century-old restored cars to enjoy them. This community garden along the tracks is named for the streetcars.
We see it go by here all the time, and the conductor waves, and everybody's so happy, and you know, that's a unique thing. That streetcar is very unique.
Streetcar service was introduced on the High Level Bridge in August 1913. And that was part of the conditions of the city of Strathcona merging with the city of Edmonton.
Service stopped in 1951. Chris Ashdown's Society of Volunteers started up again in 1980 and hasn't looked back.
Highest streetcar bridge in the world, with views that you can't get anywhere else of the river valley in Edmonton.
The future of the High Level Streetcar is now in limbo because the historic bridge it crosses is slated for demolition. The city says renewing the high level would cost upwards of $380 million. Monday, councillors approved a plan to build a replacement, remove historic protection, and eventually tear it down.
We're hoping to get another 15 to 20 years before something happens with the bridge.
The city's tentative timeline is to replace the high level in 10 to 15 years. The mayor thinks the new bridge should include a track for the streetcar.
You might not be able to retain the high level bridge, but that streetcar is iconic for the city. And I think the cost of that is something Edmontonians might be willing to absorb.
It's an encouraging sentiment for Ashdown, though he, along with at least one city councillor, is still hoping the High Level Bridge can be saved. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Radial Railway Society also runs the streetcars in Fort Edmonton Park. Its members are soon going to discuss a strategic plan for the next decade or so, and that plan may now have to include advocacy at City Hall. Edmonton homeowners can expect their 2026 property tax notices to start arriving soon. The city says they sent out 440,000 notices this week. The municipal property tax is increasing by 6.9% this year. The city says the increase will impact homeowners based on their property assessment. A single detached home assessed at just under $500,000 will pay about $426 in combined property tax.
How an individual property owner experiences this year's increase will depend on how their assessment value changed compared to the overall market. If the assessment value of your home went up by more than 5.7%, you can expect to see a higher tax increase. And if your home went up in value by less than 5.7%, you can expect to see a lower tax increase.
The city says property taxes will generate more than $2.5 billion to fund services like transit, bridges, and emergency services. The payout deadline or payment deadline is June 30th, 2026. Builders in St. Albert could now face thousands of dollars in fines for not properly storing garbage. The city changed its rules to stop the spread of debris. As CTV's Evan Kenny explains, some say the rule changes could go further.
New homes are being built in St. Albert's north and west sides. With them comes more garbage flying in the wind. To crack down on this kind of litter, the city has changed its construction debris section of the community standards bylaw.
It was found that there were some loopholes in the bylaw.
All garbage from construction sites must now be placed in covered dumpsters. Materials must also be stored in an orderly manner within property lines.
You have wildlife that use these stormwater ponds, and then the debris is blowing in from these construction sites.
Peace officers will enforce the new rules. If broken, a builder could face a fine of $1,000 per day until the issue is resolved, or if the city has to clean up the mess, the cost could be added to the business's taxes. If the issue persists,
we even have the ability to have, if that property has a business license, we could have that revoked.
Thing, right? But like, let's see.
Brett Bolkaway brought his concerns to council's attention last year.
As time went on, houses would go up and garbage would continue to pour in. I can't be one-man cleanup crew for developments across St. Albert.
He now sits on the city's Environmental Advisory Committee. While he's happy to see these changes, he believes more can be done.
Things like security deposits and amending our agreements with developers to use the same sorts of tools that they use when they need to police their builders.
A motion in City Council that would have put those additional rules in place failed in April. Evan Kenny, CTV News, St. Albert.
A House of Commons committee is scrutinizing a Liberal bill that would impact how law enforcement can access digital evidence. Canada's Privacy Commissioner and representatives from major tech companies testified in Ottawa today about the contentious legislation. It would force tech companies like Apple and Google to update their systems to help the RCMP and Canada's spy agency CSIS access digital evidence in investigations. The federal Liberals say the system needs to keep up with increasingly advanced criminals. Critics say the changes present data collection and civil liberty concerns. And the city is asking Edmontonians to roll up their sleeves to help with weed control this spring. Volunteers can now sign up for weed pulling events around the city. Staff will be on hand to teach you about weed identification and removal. The city says the events help control invasive species, which often spread rapidly.
Edmonton has about 35 regulated invasive plant species that have been found within the city, and new species are coming in, and especially through the horticultural industry, escaping people's gardens and starting to grow in natural areas.
The city is hosting more than 50 weed pulling events. Online registration is now open. Coming up next, why rising gas prices could benefit Alberta travel, and also ahead, how water loss is impacting a village heading into the summer.
All around the lake, there are marinas that people can't use and boat launches they can't use.
Good evening, folks. The heat was on today, close to 29 degrees for a daytime high in Edmonton, 29s and 30s in through eastern Alberta. We'll see similar temperatures over the next couple of days and similar sky conditions as well. Big changes on the way for the weekend, though. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
One of central Alberta's busiest camping spots has seen a significant loss of water over the past few years. CTV's Curtis Goodrum has more on the struggles of the summer village of Gull Lake.
Louise Greenhall is visiting Gull Lake for the first time in 5 years.
We were here before because it's so beautiful.
She says the lake has changed in that time.
We were kayaking in here yesterday and we could go quite far out because it's not really very deep.
The Gull Lake Watershed Society says since 2017, the lake has gone down by more than 1 meter. The lake is now hundreds of meters away from its former shoreline. Almost all boat launches around the lake have been closed, leaving many concerned.
There's sort of a crisis of confidence.
Norval Horner has lived in the village for many years. He's also a developer in the area. Horner says he's seeing more properties around the lake for sale.
All around the lake, there are marinas that people can't use and boat launches they can't use, and beaches that you have to walk out hundreds of meters to actually go for a swim.
Everyone's concerned.
because the lake is dropping. The lake on average has dropped over, it's on average 20 centimeters a year over the last 5 years.
Gull Lake councillor Lon Kasha says the lake level has been steadily dropping, accelerating in the last few years. The village plans to pump water into the lake. That plan has been on hold since 2017 due to an invasive fish species. While they have found a solution to that problem, Kasha says when the pump starts, it will take years to move the shoreline.
The objective was to stabilize the drop, not really to refill. You know, you rely on nature, say, wet weather patterns.
The Summer Village hopes Alberta's oldest provincial park will one day see its old shoreline again.
I hope it doesn't become a dead lake.
In Gull Lake, Curtis Gudrum, CTV News.
Some much-needed help is on the way for communities battling wildfires this season.
To lease 10 additional wildfire fighting aircraft that will support our provinces and our territories in their response, and that will be available beginning this wildfire season.
The 10 aircraft include air tankers and helicopters. They'll be stationed across the country based on expected need. The government says it chose to lease the aircraft instead of buying so that they could be used immediately. Canmore is moving ahead with a new tax structure to help fund affordable housing. Town Council has approved a higher tax rate for many homes that are not primary residences. It's expected to raise nearly $4.5 million this year. That money will be spent on affordable housing measures. The median house price in Canmore is $1.2 million. Vacancy rates are low, making it difficult for the people who work in Canmore to live there. A new survey by TD shows rising gas prices may put a damper on some summer travel, which might create an opportunity for an Alberta. The survey shows 1/3 of Canadians plan to spend less this summer. 44% say high fuel costs are influencing travel decisions. For Canadians who are traveling, 3/4 say they intend to stay within Canada. One travel agent says Alberta could stand to benefit.
They do want to travel. So what they're looking at is maybe shorter trips instead of a week, 5 days, maybe staying home, a domestic travel versus going international to Europe or other places.
The survey found that some Gen Z Canadians are taking a different approach. 1 in 4 say they're planning to spend more this summer. 32% say social pressures influence their spending decisions. Student athletes from across Edmonton took part in a sports event today focused on inclusion, teamwork, and community.
We pledge to respect our coaches, teammates, and opponents.
The Metro Athletics Unified Jamboree brought thousands of students to Jasper Place today. They competed in events like basketball, bocce ball, and beanbag toss. The Unified Sports Program brings students with and without intellectual disabilities together on the same team. Organizers say the event helps build friendships and a sense of belonging.
And it's an awesome way for us to really connect with others that aren't just from our school, and it gives us a great perspective on how other people live their lives.
I feel very important today, and I feel like I'm helping people, which is making me feel very grateful to be and have this opportunity here at JP.
The event included 37 schools from across Edmonton. After the break, how a shed inspired a men's mental health initiative.
We're talking about failures, like divorce and, cheating and all of those sort of things.
Programming brought to you by the music of Harry Potter with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
Welcome back. 29 degrees for the high, 10 for the morning low. We're going to be in the same territory on thermometers for highs over the next couple of days, right through to Friday. Your morning lows are going to be a lot. This might be the coolest morning low we see until next week. They're going to be a lot warmer than that, in the mid-teens for the next couple of mornings. Hottest air in through the pink zones here, but even in this dark red area, you've got temperatures close to 30 for daytime highs. Watch how that kind of backs up on Friday. I think Friday's probably our warmest day here in the city. And then things cool a little bit Saturday, and we get a good chance of some rain, and not just scattered showers, but some steadier rain across parts of central and north central Alberta on Sunday. So fingers crossed we could use the rain. There's the big upper ridge. That's the reason for the heat and heat warnings that we have for eastern parts of the province, as well as southern Saskatchewan. That upper ridge is kind of focused on Saskatchewan. On the back edge of it, you're going to get a mix of sun and cloud, some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Again, it doesn't really look like anything targets the Edmonton area tomorrow, but there's a slight chance you might see a spotty little pocket roll through. I think the best chance might be late in the day Thursday as that line of showers and thunderstorms approaches from the southwest. So we'll see how that plays out. Most of the next couple of days, though, it just looks hot and dry. 14s in the northeast, 16 for Lloydminster, 15 in Edmonton. Grand Prairie, though, down to 7 degrees. You'll be a little warmer than today, into the mid-20s tomorrow with some sunshine. 22 in Fort McMurray, but closer to 30 as you move further south. Into the 30s in east central and southeastern Alberta. 28 for Red Deer tomorrow, and here in Edmonton, we should get to about 28, maybe 29 again for a high. Similar on Thursday, 29 for Friday. We'll see how things play out. That could be a 30 to 32. 22, though, on Saturday with that chance of rain on Sunday. Could start as early as Saturday night, could linger into Monday morning, but it's sort of Sunday that it looks like most of that precipitation rolls in. And after a bit of a cool down there Sunday, Monday, temperatures back in the 20s by Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. In the short term, though, hot with daytime highs well above average.
NASA is canceling plans to deploy a space station in lunar orbit. Instead, it plans to construct a $20 billion base on the moon's surface to prepare for astronauts to live and work there long term. The first part of the moon-based mission is expected to launch this fall. NASA says a series of launches would see robots scouting the South Pole region of the moon and preparing for surface operations. NASA is hoping to achieve a sustained human presence on the moon as early as 2032. The Strathcona County Food Bank is putting out the call for a specific donation to help make a birthday special. The food bank is asking for items it can put in its birthday bags. That includes cake mix, frosting, balloons, candles, and plates. You can donate cash, individual items, or bags already put together.
It was initiated by a volunteer here, and she just recognized that there was a gap. And when people are having to make choices, sometimes they will choose to forego a birthday party so that they can keep the lights on in the house. And so it's a really fun program that people really can get behind.
The co-chair says they used to hand out about 4 or 5 bags per week. That number has since doubled. A Calgary man's plans to build a new shed ended up creating a safe space. The owner says when his friends came over to see the shed, they ended up in deep conversation. CTV's Kevin Fleming explains how it inspired a mental health initiative.
Kevin Halliday's podcast is called Shed Talk. Guests are invited to share challenges they're facing and the impact it's having on their mental health. Halliday came up with the idea after he built a backyard shed and invited friends to see it.
Guys would come over and we would just sit down and talk, and we might have a cigar, and then the conversations never went about hockey. It went about fatherhood, about friends, family, and then it started to get deep, and we didn't even realize that conversations like that would actually happen.
In addition to the podcast, Halliday started a Shed Talk Men's Night, taking place here every second Wednesday.
I invited entrepreneurs, and the idea was with them is that they were able to open up about business, but a lot of them don't open about their families or their personal life.
Dennis Agbaya was at that first meeting. He tried therapy, but says it felt more like a business transaction. Shed Talk was something different.
We're talking about failures, like divorce and, cheating and all of those sort of things, like they just become real, right? And at that point, you're not ashamed. You're not scared of being judged, because you feel supported. You feel like, hey, everyone is here to support me.
Delane Bennett is a registered social worker who attends all the meetings.
Having somebody who is really trained in trauma and being able to support and help people when they're in those phases, or be able to help them follow up or get them lined up with other clinics, or mental health support is really essential.
Agbaya says it was an experience he won't soon forget.
That day I felt light at the end. I felt free at the end, being able to share what was going on in my mind. It was beautiful,
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
And that's our show for this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good night.